Have you ever wondered why almost all great leaders, athletes, and philosophers seem to have an unyielding toughness about them? What is it about their journey that shapes them into the icons we admire? Imagine being cast into the wilderness, away from the comfort of recognition and acceptance, where your ideas are unpopular and your struggles are immense. This might sound daunting, but it's a crucible that has forged some of the most influential figures in history. Take Winston Churchill, for example. He famously said that every prophet, every great leader, is, at some point, sent into the wilderness. From 1933 to 1939, Churchill himself was largely out of public favor, almost a persona non grata. This period of isolation and challenge, he believed, was crucial. He called it the place where psychic dynamite is made. Churchill's time in the wilderness was not just about enduring hardship. It was about transformation. During those years, he refined his ideas, developed his resilience, and emerged stronger and more prepared to lead. This struggle, this phase of being tested and doubted, is what shapes great individuals. It's not just historical leaders who have faced this. Many athletes go through periods of intense training and personal challenge away from the spotlight. Philosophers often confront societal rejection before their ideas gain traction. It is in these wilderness years that they grow, adapt, and ultimately solidify their greatness. So, next time you see a successful leader or a champion athlete, remember that their journey likely involved a significant period of struggle. It is this process of facing and overcoming adversity that cultivates true greatness. Their toughness isn't just a trait. They earned it through their experiences in the wilderness. Steve Jobs' time in the wilderness is a quintessential example of this transformative journey. Imagine the shock and disillusionment of being fired from the very company you founded. Jobs had to confront his demons and ask himself the hard questions. How did I get fired from Apple? This period of exile led him to start new ventures like Next and Pixar. It forced him to look in the mirror and reckon with his shortcomings, to understand where he had gone wrong. This self-confrontation is something we all must face. It's in wrestling with our personal demons that we emerge stronger, with a greater sense of purpose and clarity. Jobs' exile wasn't just a time of professional regrouping, it was a period of deep personal growth. He returned to Apple not just as a better leader, but as a more refined person, equipped with new skills and insights that would drive the company's future success. These wilderness moments force us to confront our egos. There's a kind of ego death in losing, in being rejected, in realizing that we are not who we thought we were, or that things aren't going the way we planned. Ideally, we learn these lessons early and cheaply. For Steve Jobs, there were likely numerous smaller moments along his journey, tough meetings, harsh feedback from investors, where he could have learned these lessons. But sometimes, it takes a monumental event, like being fired, to truly break through our defenses and catalyze significant change. This idea extends to all of us. Life is constantly whispering feedback to us, nudging us to make adjustments. If we ignore these whispers, life eventually has to scream in our faces to get our attention. This screaming is avoidable if we learn to tune into the subtler cues along the way. For the Stoics, this introspection was a daily practice. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world at his time, used journaling as a way to have a conversation with himself. In his writings, which became the book Meditations, he continually asked himself why he acted the way he did, reminded himself of the values and examples he admired, and held himself accountable to his own standards. We can all benefit from a similar process of reflection and self-evaluation. Whether through journaling, regular meetings with a coach or advisor, or simply taking long walks to think things over, the key is to create a consistent habit of introspection. This practice helps us to adjust our course based on the feedback life gives us, ensuring that we grow and evolve continually. By regularly confronting ourselves and making adjustments, we can navigate our own wilderness periods more effectively, emerging from them not just unscathed, but fundamentally stronger and better prepared for the future. So what does Stoicism say about how we confront unexpected crises in our lives, especially those that we are clearly not responsible for, like a cancer diagnosis or being fired from a job? The essence of Stoicism lies in the understanding that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. This fundamental principle is encapsulated in the Stoic mantra: the obstacle is the way. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher emperor, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound insight means that no matter what obstacles we face, we have the power to turn them into opportunities. It's not about pretending that these obstacles aren't painful or unjust, but rather about how we can use them to our advantage, to grow and improve. Consider the unexpected crises we might face. A cancer diagnosis, losing a job, or any other unforeseen hardship can feel devastating. Stoicism teaches us that these events, while outside our control, present opportunities for personal growth. It's about shifting our perspective and asking, now that this has happened, what can I learn from it? How can I use this to become stronger or to help others? The phrase, "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger," echoes Stoic philosophy. Every situation, no matter how dire, carries a lesson if we are willing to see it. This perspective doesn't trivialize the pain or the unfairness of the situation. It doesn't say, "Oh, your mother died. That's great for your business." Instead, it acknowledges the tragedy and the pain, and then asks, "What can you do now? How can you step up?" These moments of crisis are opportunities to demonstrate the Stoic virtues: courage, wisdom, temperance, and justice. When faced with adversity, we have the chance to be resilient, to show strength and compassion, to be a source of support for others, and to act with integrity. It's in these difficult times that we can truly live out the Stoic teachings. For instance, if you are diagnosed with cancer, it's a moment to summon the courage to fight the illness, to find wisdom in understanding your health and treatment options, and to maintain temperance in managing your emotions. If you lose your job, it's an opportunity to reevaluate your career path, to develop new skills, and perhaps to discover a new passion or purpose that you hadn't considered before. Ultimately, Stoicism is about embracing the reality of our circumstances, no matter how harsh, and finding within them the seeds of our potential growth. By doing so, we transform obstacles into pathways, and through resilience and adaptability, we navigate life's challenges with grace and strength. Let's analyze this situation of 4 people in crises, like in a room on fire. Imagine person A paralyzed with fear, saying nothing. Then there's person B screaming in panic, "We're all going to die." Both reactions, while understandable, are unhelpful. Now consider person C, who acknowledges the fire but doesn't waste time stating the obvious. They are entirely focused on finding a way out. It's a different way to handle crises. Some people default to practical action. But let's extend this analogy. What if there's also a person D who helps calm and guide others out of the room? This person combines practical action with leadership, ensuring not just their own survival, but also helping others navigate the crisis. The fire isn't good news, but it offers a set of choices about who we become in response to it. This is what "the obstacle is the way" means. It's not about denying the fire's danger, but about using our energy to control what we can, getting out of the room and helping others do the same. So how do we cultivate this ability to handle crises effectively? Is it something innate, or can it be developed? It's much like going to the gym. Some people seem naturally adept at crisis management, possibly due to past experiences or childhood traumas that forced them to develop resilience. They've been in metaphorical burning rooms before, so they know how to navigate the heat. This is where the Stoic practice comes in. When we face challenges, be it a global pandemic, a business downturn, or betrayal by an employee, we can frame them as practice. These are our reps, our training sessions. Every adversity we encounter is an opportunity to build our crisis management muscles. If it's your first time in a burning room, you might not handle it perfectly. You might panic, freeze, or scream. But every experience, no matter how chaotic or painful, is a chance to learn and grow. Next time, you'll be more prepared, more focused, and better equipped to take effective action. Remember, the essence of Stoicism is not about erasing fear or pain, but about how we respond to it. By consistently practicing this mindset, we gradually become the person who can face the fire, not just with calm and clarity, but with the ability to guide others to safety. We transform our obstacles into opportunities for growth and leadership, becoming stronger and more resilient with each challenge we overcome. I guess the danger is that if you go through something horrific once, you might end up avoiding all circumstances or environments where you might face such a challenge again. This reaction can leave you weaker and more fragile, which is not the stoic way to handle adversity. I've often told people, hey, we just lived through a massive historical event together, and we made it. It's not to dismiss those who didn't make it, but to emphasize that we survived. Think back to March 2020. If someone had told you that you would endure 3 years of a pandemic, with millions of deaths, global shutdowns, political unrest, supply chain crises, and a complete overhaul of how we work and live, you might have said, that would destroy me. But you did make it through, not all at once, but one step at a time. You adapted and grew stronger with each challenge. Seneca reminds us that those who haven't been tested don't know their true strength. But when you have been tested, you discover capacities and capabilities greater than you ever imagined. Life doesn't always go as planned. We would prefer it didn't, but it does, and we must respond accordingly. We don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. Realizing that you are responsible for your response gives you the freedom to create yourself in the way you want, rather than merely reacting to your circumstances. Reactivity is enslavement, but responsibility is freedom. By mastering your inner life, you become the master of your own destiny, regardless of the external challenges. No matter what, fight and find a way to achieve your desires. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.